has the ability to export the base reactions from the model into an Excel or a text file. So let's take this example model, and we're going to first make sure it's been ran so that we get all the calculation of the vertical and lateral forces down the building. And then I'm going to jump to the File, Export Reactions. Here I can choose some different options. I can take the beams, bearing walls, and shear walls. I can also take any loads that were not linked. So this is all assuming that the loads carried down. If there's anything that did not get carried properly down, I can keep track of that here on unlinked. The file will be next to where the file location is stored. And I'm going to choose to export that. You can change the file name if you want, but I'm going to keep that and just say export. It will open automatically to the file format here. So I can see this created a file, which is a text file. And if you preview it, you can see it's a comma delimited text file. But for me, it's easier for me to see it in an Excel format. So I'm going to just open this in an Excel instead, and then we can see it directly here. So in Excel, you can see that I'm going to just expand this a bit, and you can see it's going to create those beams. And I see the beam is coming across, and that beam shows us the dead load and the live load and the wind load and earthquake loads at each of the posts, which is the Z and the Z1. It also gives us the value, it gives us a description of that load, and then it tells us a little bit more about its location. So we can see I have 12 beams at the base, and I'm going to scroll through all of those beams, getting different loads, and then I'm going to get to the next one here. So the next one is our bearing walls. Bearing walls we can identify here, looking at what we have here as self-weight and different kinds of dead load. I'm just going to jump into my load here for my bearing wall and see what this looks like. So in my bearing wall, I can see if I go to look at the basic loads that are coming across as reactions, you can see here that very first one, and you can see it graphically in the program. So you'll see self-weight is shown here, and then each little chunk of load is coming across along that wall, and that is broken into different segments here. So we can see that same numbers that are coming across right here. So this gives you the length of that load and the location of that application. We can see that happens all the way across here, and then the last piece is going to be the shear walls. In shear walls you get reactions, you get for the posts and the wind and the earthquake, as well here you can see their locations of where these loads came from. So you have all of that in shear walls, and then lastly, if you have any loads that didn't come across from the level above, it is tracked for you. So these loads here are going to be something I want to trace down the building and either line up with loads carrying them below, or I can account for them separately. So that gives you all the information you need for your base reactions, and you can take that into another program. Thanks for watching the video, and check out more on lavabuild.com.